the duty assigned by the President. There shall be 2 deputy prime ministers appointed by the President among cabinet ministers who will deputize the Prime Minister in executing his functions. The proposed bill further replaces cabinet secretaries with cabinet ministers who may be appointed from among members of the National Assembly. The President may also appoint not fewer than 14 and not more than 22 deputy ministers who will deputize cabinet ministers. The bill further proposes to create extra 70 parliamentary seats, which will be shared across 28 counties. Nairobi County is set to get the lion's share of 12 extra constituencies if the bill is passed into law. Kiambu County comes second with 6 extra constituencies, and Nakuru third with 5 more constituencies, Kilifi 4, while Kwale, Mombasa, Machakos, Uasin Gishu, Narok, Kajiado and Bungoma will each have additional 3 constituencies. A total of 19 counties including Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Tana River and Samburu will not get any share in the 70 new constituencies. Ben Chumba reporting for Channel 1 News.
ODM party leader Raila Odinga has said that the appointment of the judiciary ombudsman by the president will not erode the independence of the judiciary. Raila notes that the applicant will be interviewed by a select panel and 3 names submitted to the president to pick one and send to parliament for vetting before finally being appointed by the president. The judiciary ombudsman, according to the BBI report, is tasked with investigating complaints against judges, registrar, magistrate and other judicial officers and recommend on the action to be taken by the Judicial Service Commission, JSC. The BBI report is seeking to have introduction of the office of the Judicial Ombudsman, who will be nominated by the President with the approval of the Senate. This is what many critics of the report have been questioning, claiming it will erode the independence of the judiciary and claw back the gains made in the 2010 Constitution.
There is a proposal to bring out the Judiciary Ombudsman, whose powers are to some extent not even defined in the BBI document. That, in my opinion, will seriously affect the independence of the judiciary.
The Judiciary Ombudsman will serve a single 5-year term, with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga defending the proposals, arguing that the office holder will only be appointed by the President from 3 names forwarded by a select panel.
The judiciary must be independent, but it must also be oversighted. How do where do wananchi go to appeal or to register their complaints against the judiciary? And ombudsman. But how about if the ombudsman is appointed by the Chief Justice, who also is the president of the Supreme Court? And then the ombudsman is supposed to go and report to the Judicial Service Commission, but appointed by the Chief Justice. Of course, this fellow cannot oversight the Chief Justice. That's why it is said the presidency appoints the ombudsman. But ombudsman will be interviewed through a panel, and 3 names submitted to the president, who will pick one of them and send to parliament for vetting. Then finally appointed by the presidency. How does that erode the independence of judiciary?
Currently, the office of the Ombudsman is held by the Deputy Chief Justice and is an administrative office under the Chief Justice David Maraga, which is mandated to enhance public confidence and enhance transparency and accountability by judicial officers. Other proposed amendments include finality in the decision of the Court of Appeal in petitions concerning an election and limits the tenure of the President of the Court of Appeal and High Court to 5 years. The amendments further provide the tenure of the Deputy Chief Justice and aligns it with that of the Chief Justice. For one to qualify as a judge of the Supreme Court, he or she should have practiced law for over 20 years from the current requirement of 15 years. The bill also stipulates that replacement of the Constitution office holders must commence 6 months before the end of their term and conclude before such officers leave office. The period of filing a presidential petition has also been increased by the bill from 14 days to 30 days. The bill also proposes the Director of Public Prosecution to be an independent office alongside the Auditor General and the Control of Budget. Now, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 has a new clause that spells out the responsibilities of citizens with the view to enhance patriotism and inculcate a culture of virtues. The bill details how citizens have a moral duty to promote harmonious living, pay taxes, ensure honesty and integrity, as well as contribute towards national development. Our reporter Kamche Menza takes a keen look at the proposed changes to Chapter 3 of the Constitution that define the role and responsibilities of citizens.
The Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 seeks to amend Chapter 3 of the Constitution touching on citizenship through introduction of Article 18A. This article spells out the responsibilities of citizens to the country and to fellow citizens. It highlights the responsibilities of citizens in building a prosperous, fair and secure nation. The article ostensibly mandates Kenyans to pledge towards curbing some of the vices ailing the country, placing the responsibility on each citizen to cultivate national unity by respecting Kenyans' ethnic, intellectual, economic and cultural diversity with a view to ending tribal conflict. It also calls for the promotion and protection of the well-being of the family, including respect for parents and elders. Kenyans will also be required to practice ethical conduct and combat corruption. At the same time, Kenyans will also be mandated in law to fulfill parental responsibilities towards their children, develop one's abilities and skills for the advancement of self, the community, and the nation. It also places the responsibility on citizens to honestly declare their incomes to lawful agencies and pay prescribed taxes and duties with a view of combating the problem of tax evasion. To cure the problem of land grabbing, the bill puts the responsibility on citizens to have respect on private property and protect public property from waste and misuse. The bill also calls for the promotion of unity and dignity of Africa and her people. Non-citizens in the country are also expected to meet responsibilities highlighted in the bill where appropriate. It is now a game of wait and see how the public will pronounce itself on the new responsibilities placed on them in a view to enhance nationhood and promote national unity and good governance. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News.
At about 14 minutes past the hour, we are taking a quick break, but when we come back, more news, including business and sports.
This festive season, kids get to experience new adventures on DreamWorks, Toonami, CBeebies, Justice League. Much more fun for the kids. Tune in to mind-blowing movies, realities and soaps by simply paying for 2-month subscription and enjoy an upgrade for 2 months of a higher bouquet. This Christmas, get a StarTimes aerial decoder at 1,499 shillings and a satellite dish at only 2,699 shillings. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Beginning of the year, nobody knew about this pandemic. Sometime in March, people started realizing that this is a problem. China, which is the largest producer of masks, with orders from all over the world, could not supply, and the prices shot up 100 shillings. At that time, when such an incident happened, everybody has to come together. Like Equity Foundation came and saying, let's try and help. They said this is what they require, give us a pricing, and eventually they started distributing to all the hospitals. We imported 20 machines to make 200,000 masks a day. In the first week of April, we were producing about 150 to 200,000 masks a day. Currently, we are producing over 500,000 a day at 6, 7, 8 shillings a mask. Equity Foundation has done a phenomenal job. They put the producers, the suppliers, and the people who are using it together. Right now, if you go to any hospital, in Mararal, Marsabit, Lamu, all the hospitals, everywhere, everybody's got PP.
Ni mimi. Ulitoa pikipiki? Mulitani sitaomoka. Ni yako. Hii nduti ni yangu. Niliwahi pale Quick Pick. Quick Quickbit imekuja kusaidia wananchi kama sisi. Nilinunua 399 shillings. Juu nilikuwa the lowest unique bidder. 399 shillings. Quickbit shilingi moja unaweza nunua pizza. Shilingi 2 unaweza nunua microwave. Shilingi 5 unaweza nunua hata gari. So tupeleke huko hata mtu aende huko.
Jiunga na Quickbit ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbit.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. Quickbit, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Njue, what are you doing? What does it look like I am doing? Atito, I have never been this petty. This is what is called business. Those are expensive gadgets.
Sick. Talk of selfish. I thought mothers were supposed to be taking care of their children and kids.
Until when they get old, then you become the mom.
But I am not old enough. I don't want to be a mom. How can I be a mommy to my mommy and a mommy to my brother?
Mr. Tisha, did we offend you?
Why would you think that, huh? This is not the time for stories, Njue.
This is so boring.
Common law.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
It is an all-Egyptian affair and a first for CAF as two home teams face each other in the final of the 2020 CAF Champions League. Al Ahly will be all out to maintain their dominance in the elite African clubs competition against their arch rivals Zamalek, who are raring for a fight to the death. You cannot afford to miss this thriller on the 27th of November only on your true sports partner, KBC Channel 1 from 10 p.m. We have a lot in store for you. Be on the lookout.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping me company. Moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has warned the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, against any attempts to reopen the closed 2007-2008 post-election violence cases. Speaking at Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi during the launch of the Building Bridges Initiative Signature Collection Drive, the head of state said he would not accept the reopening of old wounds as political stability in the country is paramount.
Attempt by the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, to conduct investigation on matters related to the 2007-2008 post-election violence received condemnation from the head of state. At the launch of the BBI signature collection, the president hit out at the DCI, saying he will not accept the move to revisit old cases as it amounts to reopening of old wounds.
Wale ambao wanajaribu kuchimbua makaburi, nilisoma kwa gazeti juzi, wasifikiri wanacheza. Mimi siwezi kukubaliana na mambo kama haya. Tumetoka huko na mambo haya tumezika katika kaburi ya sahau.
The president maintained that issues that affected the country in the past will be resolved through constitutional and legal avenues for the sake of unity of the country.
You must always think before you do something. Sisi hatutaki vita katika taifa letu la Kenya. Sisi wengine wetu tunajua maana ya amani. Na sisi tunataka kurekebisha zile shida na turekebishe kwa njia ya kikatiba, kwa njia ya kisheria. Ndio Kenya isonge mbele na Wakenya wawe kitu kimoja.
Kinoti sentiments kicked up controversy and political pressure, forcing him on Tuesday to beat a hasty retreat, saying he was only expressing fears from some concerned Kenyans. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
Away from the BBI train, we focus on health matters where Kenya continues feeling the pinch of the coronavirus pandemic in the country, recording another 810 new cases 225 days since the virus was first reported. On Wednesday, the country lost 8 patients, taking the death toll to 1,417. The country's coronavirus caseload now stands at 79,322 from 85,000 from 855,403 samples.
The COVID-19 trajectory in the country continues disturbing, with Kenya recording 810 new cases in the last 24 hours. The new cases, according to a statement from the Ministry of Health, are from 7,387 samples tested in the same period. So far, the country has managed to test 855,403 samples, and 79,322 have turned out positive as of day 255 since the first case was reported. Nairobi leads in the number of new COVID-19 cases, having recorded 252 cases. Mombasa has 77, Nakuru 38, Uasin Gishu 36, and Siaya 34, among others. The government also announced 265 recoveries in the same period, with 210 patients from the home-based care program, while 55 were discharged from various hospitals. This brings the total recoveries in the country to 52,974. Sadly, 8 more patients succumbed to the disease, bringing cumulative fatalities to 1,417. Currently, there are 1,198 patients admitted in various health facilities countrywide, while 7,196 are on home-based isolation. The government also says that 49 patients are in the intensive care unit, 31 of whom are on ventilator support, and 14 on supplemental oxygen. 91 patients are currently admitted in general wards, while 15 are in the high dependency unit. Wycliffe Okech, Channel 1 News.
Residents of Mikinduri in Meru County have decried the poor states of Mikinduri police station, saying the building is in a pathetic state. The locals claim concerned authorities have failed to carry out timely maintenance at the facility and urge the government to urgently construct a modern police station to improve working environment for the officers stationed in the area. These and more stories in newsmaking headlines in the counties.
The poor state of Mikindiru police station in Meru County has got the attention of area residents who claim that the facility is in a wanton state. The residents claim that the station built of timber has its ceiling almost falling, accusing concerned authorities of failing to carry out timely maintenance at the facility that serves as the headquarters of the police in Tigania Central Sub-County.
Tunataka hii yetu itengenezwe kwa sababu ndio ile kama town kubwa ya hii district, kwa hii district zote hata tukiwa na masoko mengi.
Meanwhile, Moyale Member of Parliament Kalicha Gufu is appealing for talks between Kenya and Ethiopia after 9 Kenyans were reportedly abducted by Addis Ababa authorities in Moyale border town for harboring rebels. The legislator wants the neighboring regions to continue maintaining stability, adding that peaceful coexistence has existed between the two communities over the years.
Once we have that peaceful environment, then especially for Kenya, Ethiopia is a good partner in terms of even business, and we urge both the administrators on the ground, on Kenyan side and Ethiopian side, and even the two head of state to ensure and assist us, we continue having peace.
On the flip side, let's talk a little bit.
Elsewhere, the National Transport and Safety Authority has launched Usalama Barabarani project in Kericho County in a bid to reduce road accidents. NTSA Road Safety Director Badu Katelo said road safety is a responsibility for every Kenyan citizen. Badu said Kericho is among 6 counties in the country with highest fatality cases in the roads after Nairobi, Makueni, Machakos, Kakamega and Kisumu.
We are coming here to bring together the county, the national government officers in the county to work together to come up with a national action plan on issues affecting Kericho area. And
while the Kenya Film Classification Board has condemned the recent incidents of child abuse and recruitment into pornography activities and cyberbullying on diverse platforms, speaking in Mombasa, KFCB CEO Ezekiel Mutua said they will take legal action against companies that are exposing inappropriate content during the watershed period.
We will collaborate with the DCI to arrest and prosecute any adults found facilitating minors to engage in immoral activities, especially watching porn or being admitted in places where untold material is being displayed.
And Kenya National Union of Nurses Kakamega branch has issued a 2-week strike notice. Speaking in Kakamega, the branch's Secretary General Renson Bulunya said the strike will commence on the 9th of next month, arguing that the county government that is supposed to protect health workers who are risking their life over COVID-19 has abandoned them.
It beats the logic when you say you are giving PPEs, personal protective gear, only to people who are serving in the isolation centers.
Mandera County Government and the Danish Refugee Council and CARE have donated hygiene kits to schools and healthcare centers in the area in a move aimed at mitigating the spread of COVID-19. The items will benefit schools in Mandera East, Mandera North and Banisa sub-counties. The consignment included 4,800 bar soaps, 240 sanitizer bottles and 100 hand-washing stations. And finally, residents of Jimarani village in Vihiga County are mourning the death of 13-year-old Class 5 boy who was crushed to death by a huge rock that was being excavated at their home. Locals are still trying in vain to retrieve the trapped body as the place cannot be accessed by an excavator. Hamisi Deputy Sub-County Commissioner Richard Karani, who visited the home, cautioned locals to be more careful, more so now that the area is experiencing heavy rains.
Elsewhere, the Building Bridges Initiative Bill seeks to revert the Directorate of Criminal Investigations Office into the National Police Service. It also proposes that the directorate be under the command of the Deputy Inspector General of Police. The bill also empowers members of County Assembly with optional capacity to serve as chief executive members in a county, among other key highlights. Take a look.
Next on.
Through Equity Group, the first batch of PPEs has been distributed to all the counties.
Now what I need from you is for you to grant me a power of attorney for me to handle everything, to function as your representative.
Oh yes, of course, Uncle.
Take out 2 packages and take them to Balboa Street on the corner of Bulgaria. He'll meet you there.
Don't you think it's a little weird that Uncle is so excited about you getting this franchise? But when you decided to buy the orchard, he was so against it? So are you saying you don't trust him?
In the beginning, you were so loving and affectionate, right? But now you keep on canceling plans with me.
Okay.
They really feel that support from Equity because they didn't know where the protective gear will come. They are really appreciative about it.
They showed their might in the inaugural FIBA African in Mali with the silverware. They are ready to make it even better in the FIBA AfroBasket 2021 qualifiers in Rwanda. Let's rally behind the Kenya Morans as they take on the opposition from Angola, Senegal and Mozambique from 25th to 27th of November on your true sports partner KBC Channel 1 in their quest for success. This is just the beginning. Save the dates for the best on the next episode.
We targeted students not just because they come from arid and semi-arid, but there are communities that are marginalized within those areas.
It was called at Msambweni, a medical training college, and that is where I went and studied under the Beyond Zero scholarship.
I was recruited under the Universal Health Coverage Program as a community health nurse.
I'm happy that the county governments, where these students are drawn from, have taken it very positive to ensure that they employ them.
I continue to invest in training and skills building of community nurses and health workers by expanding the number of Beyond Zero scholarships from 100 to 200 in the next year.
In business, the government projects that the economy will slow to 0.6% this year due to the negative impact of COVID-19, then rebound to 6.4% next year. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani says the economic recovery will, however, depend on a global solution to COVID-19. And as Betty Kiptum narrates, the government is banking on good weather to support agriculture as well as ongoing investments in the Big Four agenda projects and rebounding of trade.
The coronavirus has ravaged most economies. That has seen some economies going into recession, while others are registering growth but at very low rates. Initially, the National Treasury had projected a 6% economic growth this year for Kenya. That was revised down to at least 2.5% after COVID-19 struck. But this has changed based on the prolonged impact of COVID-19.
In this respect, economic growth for 2020 is projected at 0.6%. in 2020 and 6.4% in 2021.
He expects the economy to rebound to 6.4% next year and register a growth rate above 6% over the next 5 years.
The growth outlook will be supported by stable macroeconomic environment, ongoing investments in strategic priorities of the government under the Big Four agenda, turnaround in trade and as economies recover from COVID-19 pandemic, and expected favorable weather that will support agricultural output.
Yatani made the remarks in Nairobi during the launch of the public hearing on 2021-2022 budget, which will be anchored on fiscal consolidation.
And we are going to rein in on this, some of the notorious counties, at the same time state enterprises, because the expenditure we undertake, we do it on behalf of the public.
This calls for reduction or reducing government expenditure, prudence in use of public resources, and expanding the tax base.
We'll also want to reduce on the pace of implementation of some projects. Some projects that we can do now, others can postpone in the future until normalcy resumes in the economy.
The government projects a 7.1% of the GDP budget deficit for the 2021-2022 financial year, of which 3.3% would be sourced from foreign borrowing that Parliament is cautioning.
The burden of benefits of use of resources and public debt should be shared equitably between us and the future generation. We cannot afford to overburden the future generation.
The situation is highly sustainable. It's sustainable enough. We've never defaulted, and we can't default because about the pride and the integrity, the dignity of our country. We have to pay what we owe other countries or creditors.
The Treasury expects KRA to collect 16.2% of GDP in revenue for the next financial year.
A local developer has broke ground on a 1 billion shillings real estate project in Langata. The gated community by Purple Dot International that sits on a 3-acre piece of land will have 42 4-bedroom houses. This and more in our corporate briefs.
Kenya faces a housing shortage of over 200,000 units annually, which have kept on increasing. Local and international investors have seen this as an investment opportunity. The government's housing agenda of the Big Four has added an impetus to this. The latest entrant is Purple Dot International that is building 42 units in Langata, Nairobi County. Purple Dot International says the real estate sector and the housing market remain an important and very attractive sector, being an important growth driver for the economy. The firm targets homeowners looking for a serene, luxurious and a quality place to live with their families, as well as investors keen on attractive returns.
This real estate is not performing right now because of the unexpected COVID. We believe that if you do a proper project after proper study, and if you are giving them a best value to our investors, I think in any time if you start a project, you will definitely get a buyer.
Elsewhere, Equity has appointed Samuel Onyango as a non-executive director to its Equity Bank Kenya Limited board. Samuel has extensive leadership experience in a wide range of professional services as a certified auditor, company secretary, arbitrator and mediator, including his contribution to the development of the accounting profession in East, Central and Southern Africa in the course of his career. He is a director at Jadala Investments Limited. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Across borders, skydivers from around the world descended on a unique skydiving spot, the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. 90 world-class divers gathered in Cairo for a rare international event that gave skydivers the opportunity to soar over the pyramids. Here are those details and other stories in our International Business Roundup.
The global pandemic has had its impact on the skydivers event. When Jump Like Pharaoh opened its registration, few applied. So organizers had to come up with a new attraction, a night jump. Skydiving has more than 5 million fans around the world. For athletes who entrust a harness and a parachute with their lives, organizers still maintained strict measures against COVID-19. Participants said despite the bureaucracies involving a lot of filing of forms and testing every couple of days, the event was a success. Participants said despite the bureaucracies involving a lot of filling of forms and testing every couple of days, the event was a success. This is the third volume of Jump Like a Pharaoh, with skydivers from nearly 20 countries participating in jumps over the ancient wonder. Meanwhile, Japan's domestic airline industry is experiencing an upward trend as the pandemic wanes and more people return to air travel. According to the flight schedule information of two Japanese aviation giants, All Nippon Airways and Japan Airlines, the number of domestic flights recovered to 70% in November and is expected to rebound to more than 80% in December. Besides passenger flights, Japan's air cargo business is also showing signs of recovery. According to statistics, Japan's air freight exports rose 0.4% in October from a year earlier, showing the first year-on-year increase in the past 2 years. Japan's export volume to the Asia-Pacific region rose 4.8%, while the export volume to China was up nearly 10%. Finally, South Korea now requires ginseng growers to list the origin, growing years and other basic information on the packaging in order to improve the quality standards of the product. More than 70% of ginseng products are traded at the ginseng wholesale market in central South Korea. The fresh ginseng is classified and priced according to its origin, growing years, size, and quality. The head of the wholesale market says that the ginseng packaging is marked with growers' names, contact information, and the product's origin and growing years. With more than 20,000 ginseng growers in South Korea, customers look for quality. One farmer says that the packaging information is useful for customers.
Argentina soccer legend Diego Maradona has died of a heart attack just 2 weeks after being released from hospital after being treated for a brain clot in his brain. The football legend had a heart attack at his home just 2 weeks after leaving hospital, where he underwent surgery on a blood clot in his brain. Maradona, regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time, helped Argentina win the World Cup in 1986, the pinnacle of an illustrious career. He played club football for Boca Juniors, Napoli and Barcelona, among others, and was adored by millions all over the world for his brilliant skills. A true soccer legend, may the Almighty God rest his soul in everlasting peace. Elsewhere, national men's basketball team Kenya Morans started their 2021 Afro basketball qualifiers on the wrong foot after losing 92 to 54 points to Senegal in their Group B match opener that was played this evening in Kigali, Rwanda. Kenyan Tyler Njue had the highest points on the Kenyan side with 13 points after giving 5 assists and 9 rebounds. Kenyan captain Valentine Nyakinda was on level on the number of steals in the game with Senegal's Ibrahima Faye, who had 3 steals. While Kenya last featured in Afro basketball in 1993, their opponents Senegal have been regulars, playing in 11 finals. They have won the title 5 times and finished second in 6 finals. The Morans will next play against Angola tomorrow in a match that will be aired live on KBC Channel 1.
With the steal. However, Senegal come right back and get it down low, and it's Badji, Abdou Badji. 3-point shot is good. Silla gets on the board as well. Sure to be entertaining. Guay.
The World Motorsport Federation has announced a plan to support Kenya's road safety and climate change adaptation programs ahead of next year's Safari Rally. The commitment was made today by the president of FIA, Jean Todd, during a meeting with His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta at State House, Nairobi.
The World Motorsport Federation has a plan to support Kenya's road safety and climate change adaptation programs ahead of next year's Safari Rally. This was announced during FIA President John Todd's meeting with President Uhuru Kenyatta today. Todd is in the country to assess Kenya's preparedness ahead of the World Rally Championship event, which makes a comeback after 18 years. The FIA boss said Kenya is a key partner of his organization and pledged to continue working closely with the Kenyan government to ensure that the return of the Safari Rally contributes to the socio-economic progress in the country. President Kenyatta said a road safety campaign will be rolled out ahead of next year's event, adding that Kenya will be more prepared to host the event set to be held from the 24th to 27th of June.
Gor Mahia Secretary General Sam Ochola has rubbished the club's chairman claims that he was coerced to sign the Football Kenya Federation broadcast contract with StarTimes. Ochola, who was suspended yesterday by the club chairman Mr. Ambrose Rachiel, says he signed the contract in good faith.
A day after Gor Mahia chairman announced suspension of the club's Secretary General Sam Ochola for going behind the executive committee's backs to sign an endorsement letter for the Football Kenya Federation and StarTimes broadcast deal, Ochola has issued his response to the chairman.
I am not a Rachiel or EC appointee. I was elected overwhelmingly and in fact unopposed, just like him, by all the registered members who participated in the elections. This is a strategy that the chairman has used endlessly to fracture frustrate and demoralize elected officials in every circle of Gor Mahia FC elections.
In his response, Ochola argued that the club is broke and is in need of gathering monetary support for reducing a gap in operational costs.
The limited time before the league kicks off, and of course the preparation in the Champions League this weekend in Rwanda, I signed the document in good faith and absolute fairness to our beloved club as the Secretary General, and it was never because of being coerced or cajoled or blackmailed, as the chairman purported yesterday.
All Premier League clubs are not supposed to sign that deal because it's shrouded in fraud. And the rights which FKF is trying to take from them, that is what the clubs own. They have not seen any agreements which these sponsors are giving. They are shrouded in secrecy.
Gor Mahia is among several clubs which have rejected the broadcast agreement between the Federation and the Chinese broadcast giants, which is set to run for the next 7 years. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
The Kenya Tennis Junior Challenge kicked off today at the Nairobi Sports Club and is set to culminate this Friday. Nicole Nino and Vishwa Shah showed impressive performances and registered wins on day one to progress through to the next stage of the competition. Nino registered a 6-love, 6-3 set win against Belen Estefanos, while Vishwa Shah claimed a 6-7, 4-6 set win over Nyawira Olembo. Linda Machimbo beat Magdalene Witaba by 2 straight sets of 2-6, 2-6. The championship is geared towards preparing the players for next year's Junior International Championship.
It's hard to tell. It's the first day. Players also have not played. The last players played in January. That's when we had a similar competition. So there's that little adjustment that we need. So maybe from tomorrow. So they're gaining momentum for now. For now, we are in 14 counties. We aim to expand in every 5 counties, 5 new counties every year. But with this year, due to COVID, we were not able to add the 5 new counties. So we hope next year, if our budget allows, we can try and add to 10 so that we can be in 24 counties.
Further afield, Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola says the Champions League is not an obsession, but he has felt his side will do well in the competition since the start of the season. City are yet to get past the quarter-finals under Pep Guardiola, with previous boss Manuel Pellegrini leading the club to the semi-finals in 2016. City are away to Olympiacos in one of the eight match day 4 encounters tonight.
Moving, and it's a terrific ball into Hudson-Odoi, and Hudson-Odoi puts Chelsea ahead. Repeating what he managed to do. By Burishu, and the header from Girassi into the back of the net, and Rennes do have their equaliser. Powerful header from Serhu Girassi. Feeds it through. Timo Werner saved by Gomes. Giroud goes for the header, and Giroud finds the back of the net for Chelsea. Just as the clock strikes 90, and Rennes have thrown it away.
As well, nearly dropped to him. Comes out here for the slam. Oh, and a knock. Manchester United ahead. Bruno Fernandes slamming it into the roof of the net in the opening 7 minutes. Comes across from Telles. Oh, keeper's missed it. Bruno Fernandes makes it 2. Well, they gifted Başakşehir a goal in Istanbul 3 weeks ago.
I think Rashford was fairly surprised.
Rashford, the stuttering run. And coolly done. Manchester United 3. Başakşehir 0. And thoroughly deserved. Clean sheet. Oh, and he just does enough to keep that clean sheet. Was the ball over the line? The referee gets a signal, and they have a goal.
It looked that way.
Oh, brilliantly taken, brilliantly executed. 3 points for Manchester United.
Pedri, now Braithwaite. Barca go in front. Lenu with the corner kick. And And it's been tucked in by Braithwaite. The card is going to be produced here. Doesn't make any difference. Alba, Griezmann, magnificent finish.
Guy in space to burst into the penalty area. Needs support. The cross was deflected, and Ozuni scores. Ronaldo spins away for one challenge, and Cristiano Ronaldo supplies the equaliser in second. Morata. Oh, he's done it. Alvaro.
We have come to the tail end of Channel 1 News Hour on this very busy Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter for tonight. Thank you indeed, including you who was watching via our social media platform, including Facebook, Twitter, and also YouTube. Not forgetting our KBC app. Meshak Oleyo watching from Kilgoris, Oyando Wycliffe watching from Kisii branch, Wycliffe watching from Nyamira, Edwin Omolo watching from Nyando sub-county. Alex Ketel Total is tuned in, and the list keeps going. Thank you so much. Irene Mchuma Odim is coming up next with the latest weather forecast. Good night.
Good evening. I hope you're well today. My name is Irene Mchuma Odim. The weather experts are warning us of floods Thursday and Friday. And tomorrow, these will largely affect the northeastern parts of the country, Mandera included. But Friday, the wet conditions will spread across the country with an intensity of up to 40 millimeters amount of rainfall expected to be recorded across the country Friday. With this in mind, what should we do? The weather experts say we should avoid sheltering under the trees. Lightning would strike. Road users to be cautious, and also if you reside on lower grounds, be prepared to move to higher grounds to avert eventualities. Tonight, most parts of the country are experiencing scattered wet conditions, apart from the southeastern lowlands and the northwestern parts of the country where there are dry weather conditions. Those two areas are experiencing partly cloudy conditions. Come tomorrow morning, we'll see rains in Meru and Nyeri. The capital will be cool and cloudy. The northeastern parts of the country, Mandera, Moyale, Marsabit, moving all the way to Lodwar. There'll be rains during the morning hours. The coastal strip will largely be sunny. The southeastern lowlands, Machakos, Makindu, Voi, stretching all the way to mountainous areas in Meru and Nyeri. There'll be rains. The capital will be cloudy, and the Lake Basin region and western sector will largely experience sunny intervals, but there'll be rains in Kitale and Eldoret. This scenario will change during the afternoon hours. There'll be showers accompanied by thunderstorms over the western sector, and these will largely affect Kisumu, Kakamega, Kisii, Kericho. The northeastern parts of the country in the afternoon will see showers over several places, and also the southeastern lowlands, there will be only sunny conditions in the county of Machakos. The capital, Meru and Nyeri, will experience showers in the afternoon. Also, the coastal strip will experience wet conditions during the afternoon hours, as well as several areas in the county of Samburu. Lodwar will be sunny in the afternoon, and the highest temperatures across the country will be experienced in that area. That will stand at 36 degrees Celsius. Mandera will experience highs of 25 degrees Celsius. The capital will experience highs of 27. And for you in Voi, be prepared for highs of 33 degrees Celsius. And on that note, time for us to cross the borders and have a look at the international forecast. Rain or shine, be warm and be safe.